welcome to UMR. My name is Mark, and I'll be reviewing the first episode of Westworld that aired yesterday, at least yesterday for me, on HBO. And I have that HBO app that I get to watch it, so I did, and it's pretty awesome. So let's talk about Westworld's first episode called The Original, is the name of this episode. So, this is actually directed by one of the showrunners. Here, I'll start with showrunners, then I'll get to the director. Jonathan Nolan, Chris Nolan's brother, who did a lot of writing, and he's done a lot of other stuff. He worked with Chris Nolan, and I'm just going to call Jonathan Nolan. And his wife, Lisa Joy, I believe is her name. Lisa Joy and Nolan are the showrunners, and they brought in J.J. Abrams as one of the executive producers. And actually, those two wrote this first episode, The Original, and Nolan actually directed this episode. So, this show is starring all kinds of awesomeness like Evan Rachel Wood, Jeffrey Wright, who played Basquiat in the Basquiat, what word am I looking for? Biopic that was really good. And also, you got Ed Harris, who also played an artist in a biopic. He played Pollock. But you got Ed Harris in here, and then you also have James Marsden as the guy who's pretty. Yeah, fits. And then you got Anthony Hopkins, and then other actors I don't recognize. So, yeah, let's just dive into this. The way this works is I'm going to kind of give you a non-spoilery synopsis the best I could. This is going to be tricky for this kind of a show. And as if you haven't seen it, and then I will give you my rating between 1 and 5. Here are my hands, my digits. And then after I give you that 1 out of 5 rating, you can leave if you don't want to be spoiled. And then I'm going to be spoiling like a mofo. I'm just going to be opening the floodgates and spoiling after I give my rating, as if you just sat and watched it with me. Although I was kind of laying down as I watched it. I watched it in my bedroom because it's a phone. I don't have to sit in the living room. I'm going to lay down on the bed. And the cat was on my chest. I like cats. All right, so let's get into this. So it starts off, dives right into it. This movie has a lot of world to build, and they don't really pussyfoot around it. They kind of just jump right into this world, and I love that. I thought it was really great. It starts off with Evan Rachel Wood getting, I don't know how would you, I know it was an update, but she's getting talked to, and then you find out that it's this, Westworld is this weird theme park, and she is one of the hosts, which means she's a robot with artificial intelligence. And then all this huge world with all this interweaving storylines, you can pay money, go there, pretend to be a cowboy, and kind of get roped up. And there's cool stuff kids can do, or you could just go pure evil and just start killing people and raping people because they're not actually people, they're robots. And if you're a guest or a newcomer, you're not going to be able to get hurt. You pretty much immortal. And, so the host can't hurt you. And the hosts kind of don't have a lot of, grasp on what's going on. They have their certain words. And right after a new update, a bunch of stuff starts kind of going wrong. A couple of them start acting really weird. And that's kind of what the first episode's about. And then you get introduced to Dolores, Evan Rachel Wood, who's one of the hosts, one of the robots. And then get more into her. But she's kind of the host that you see the most of. The host with the mostest. There you go. And then you got, I already forgot his name, and I love him so much. Something Wright. Jeffrey Wright. If you don't recognize Jeffrey Wright, he was in a couple of Hunger Games, and yeah, as I said already, he played Basquiat in the movie Basquiat, and Basquiat's not only one of my favorite artists, his portrayal of him is so spot on and so good that I've respected Jeffrey Wright for a real long time, and I think he's super underrated, and yeah, I'll get more into Jeffrey Wright, I'll get more into all this, and he plays one of the creators. I think this is pretty good, and then you got Anthony Hopkins as the guy who started it all. and there was a big update and started going wrong. Okay, and Ed Harris is a guest who is just kind of a monster. Alright, there you go. If you don't want to be spoiled, that's what it's about. Do you want to know it's any good? Yeah, this TV show is really good so far. I'm really excited to see more. I got a little small problems, but no, I'm very interested to see more. I had to sit down and watch most of it again before I did this review because there's so much going on, and if there's any negative, it's that if you don't have the pause button, you might have missed a lot of stuff. This TV show is really big. Big as in its themes. It's kind of isolated, but it's really big as in everything that's going on. So if that sounds like something you want, watch it. Alright, I'm going to be giving this TV show, this first episode called The Original of Westworld, first episode, I'm going to be giving it a 4 out of 5. So there you go, 4 out of 5. That's a hell of a rating. Good. If you don't want to be spoiled, fuck off. Get out of here. Fucking go do something else with your life, you pieces of hot garbage trash. All right. Moving on to spoileries. All right. As I was going to say, Jeffrey Wright nails it out of the park. Nails it out of the park. He is so good. He always is. But he's very subtle. His character doesn't need to have too much depth to it, and he's bringing it. And I'm really excited to what happens with him. And then his assistant, I'm trying to remember her name. I won't be able to come up with it right now, I don't think. But she was in Raising Hope. But actually, I might be able to come with it. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Yeah, Shannon Woodward. Shannon Woodward was in Raising Hope. And yeah, I love her. She's very charismatic, and she's kind of just super adorable. And like one of the first scenes when like the person she's working with walks away, and then she kind of just kisses the host they're working on. Man, all right. So everyone, what I'm getting at and why I like that is it's showing you that even these side characters are going to have depth, and they're all going to have something going on with them, and that's what I want. I want to see that right away. I can't pussyfoot around that. If you're going to have characters that are super in-depth, show me. And that was good. So, all right, and then you have Hopkins. If anyone didn't wow me right away, it was actually probably Hopkins. He didn't have a lot to do in this episode, and that's probably why. But yeah, he's good because he's Anthony Hopkins, but he didn't really, he didn't blow me away, really. So there's that. Now let's talk about Dolores and everything going on in the Westworld. Man, I really like this world building, and I liked how many times we went through the scenario in the first episode, and I thought it was going to get old, but since something new is going to happen each time, it gives you... It makes that loop, that her walking down the stairs and, oh, hey, Daddy, you're going to go and we'll do whatever with the day? Yep. Every time you saw that, there was a new thing to look at. And it was like, after he saw the picture, then she comes down, he's still just, checking the picture out and doing this weird, twitchy thing. Like he's glitching out hardcore. And then... the last time the loop happens, they already replaced the dad. So what I'm saying is they're doing this loop, but they're keeping it interesting because of what's changing. And then, I'm not going to talk about the end yet. Let's talk about, I don't know, I want to talk about everything, and I'm not going to because this is already going to be a long review. But I want to talk about everything because a lot of this is so interesting. I want to know more, and I think they're going to show us just about how this world works and why, and how they do a lot of this, and when they want to distract everyone so they can take a lot of the ones who are updated away, so they do this big, sprawling, saloon robbery, and then right in the middle of the big speech, dude, frickin' one of the guests blows his head off. I loved it. I thought that was so cool because you can't count on that because the guests can do whatever they want, and it caught me off guard, and I loved it. I love the let's go with the Here's something I'm a little gray on. It's gorgeous, and especially these big, huge landscapes. But I know they're not real, but at the same time, they look really real. So I'm actually kind of wondering of how much of this set is practical. How many of those awesome, sprawling, whatever, like Devil's Thumb plateaus are practical or not? I don't know. They're probably not at all. But this shows special effects, especially in the year we've had with really shitty special effects on super high budget movies like Suicide Squad. These special effects are gorgeous. Really gorgeous. Now, it's something that's subtle, which you never realize that most people don't nail this, as the fly landing and crawling on people. Usually, no show ever nails those little CG things like a fly. You can usually tell they're fake. But it looks like 100% real. Like, I had to watch it like, how'd they get the fly to walk over her eyeball like that? Nope, that was CG, and they nailed it. And then it doesn't stop there. The gore is just great. When people's faces explode, the special effects, the direction of photography, the computer graphics, or the CG, yeah, that's what it stands for. They just nailed it out of the park. So I got a lot of, and then Ed Harris. Let's talk about Ed Harris. Ed Harris is, how come he's never played a villain like this? I know he played like a villain in like The Rock, but that's like a Michael Bay villain, it's not a real one. He actually gets to be like maniacal and kind of sick, and he is. And he scalps that dude, and he's looking at, what's he up to? And that's another thing, is they leave us wondering, what's this game within the game that Ed Harris is trying to solve? What's he trying to do? Figure out how these things work and like rewire them and like try to free them? And I don't know. It's super interesting. So yeah, as a villain, he's definitely awesome as a villain. And yeah, all right. Now let's talk about the ending. I'm kind of running out of things, so let's talk about the ending. So Evan Rachel Wood, who is super good if I haven't said that yet. I love Evan Rachel Wood. I always wondered why she hasn't gone more places. Everything I've ever seen her in, I love her. I just like everything. So I don't know why she hasn't actually. She's not one of those big, household names when she, for every reason, deserves to be. So she goes through updates, and she gets called in a lot. It starts off with her getting the speech, and then ends with her getting the speech. And we're kind of hit over the nose with the fly. I'll bring the fly up again. We're hit over the nose with the fly landing on people's faces, and the robots kind of just let it happen. And then the last shot is of her saying hello to her new daddy, because her daddy freaked out, and a fly lands on her face, and then she slaps it. Boom! That is so subtle of showing that these robots are gaining intelligence. I'm really excited. That was awesome. It was a great way to end this episode. Can't wait to see more. Got my small problems, but that's about it. And then I'm going to end this with telling you or reading off what this show's described as. And I didn't actually read this until after this episode. And if anything got me more pumped, it's this. It's described as a dark odyssey about the dawn of artificial consciousness and the future of sin. What the fuck does that mean? I can see the dawn of artificial intelligence. I guess we'll learn what the future of sin means. But yeah, it's really good. This is based off a movie written and directed by Michael Crichton that I've never seen, that came out in the 70s. Might have to figure this out. I might have to check it out. Alright, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Click like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Comment. I've been doing a lot of stuff this weekend. It's been a pretty busy weekend for reviews. I'm watching Luke Cage. I'll put the review for the first and the second episodes of Luke Cage in here, along with the review of the 3 through 6 episodes of Luke Cage in here, on the description that you can click. And dive down the rabbit hole and see what other reviews we've done here at UMR, and you guys have a freaking fantastic day.